The sun crests the horizon, and light spills over an endless expanse of golden grass. No trees break the line, no hills rise to block the view. The steppe stretches to every edge of the world, completely still. The wind pushes the grass in slow waves, and that is all the motion there is. Then the ground hums. It is too low to hear, only felt through the soles of the feet, a faint vibration that makes the air tickle. The first onlooker thinks it is distant thunder, a storm rolling in from the west. But the sky is clear, blue as polished glass. A thin line of pale gold appears on the far horizon, rising up against the blue. It grows thicker, darker, rolling forward faster than any storm cloud could move. The hum swells into a roar. Thousands of hooves strike the earth in unison. The vibration becomes a tremble that shakes loose grass from the roots, that makes the air sing. 10,000 horses surge across the plain, lances lowered, every animal moving as one. A massive dust cloud billows up behind them, gilded by the morning sun that filters through its haze. The ground heaves under their weight. This is the core of the Maegu-yeo Kingdom, the cavalry that gave birth to every steppe warrior nation that came after. No wall could hold them. No force could outrun them. The camera cuts sharp from the rolling mass of cavalry, closing in on a single rider moving at the head of the advance. The horse gallops full tilt, muscles bunching and releasing with every stride that eats up the grass. The warrior leans far back into the motion, his weight shifting perfectly with the animal's gait to steady his aim. His hands move without hurry, even as the ground blurs beneath him. He wraps his fingers around the curved bow's grip, pulls the string back to its full extension. The wood groans under the strain, the sinew sings. He holds for one heartbeat, locks the target in place, lets the horse's movements settle into his aim. The string catches for half a breath, then slips free. A sharp crack echoes over the thunder of hooves. The arrow leaps from the bow. Its tip is carved from solid jade, polished so thin that light passes through it and glows. It cuts through the blue sky, leaving a faint, shimmering trail of light that hangs in the air long after it has passed. The warrior does not flinch. He does not blink. He holds his stance until the arrow reaches its mark, out of frame, beyond the ridge. This single shot is proof. The advanced archery that would later be passed down to Maegu and Goguryeo warriors was already perfected, centuries before any of those kingdoms were founded. The Maegu-yeo did not learn the craft from others. They invented it, honed it, made it an extension of their own bodies on the steppe. The camera drops low, tilting back until the sky fills the frame above the thundering cavalry. The blue stretches clear, only a few wispy clouds scattered high above. At first, the dark specks are just birds, nothing more, distant shapes gliding on the high thermals above the plain. No one expects them to move. No one expects them to match the ground speed of thousands of galloping horses. The specks resolve into wings. Giant wings, broader than any warrior's lance, span from tip to tip. These are not wild birds. They are trained war hunters, bonded to the Maegu-yeo riders below. One by one, they fold their wings against their bodies and tip forward into a dive. The wind whistles over their feathers as they plummet straight for the enemy position off-screen. Each eagle falls at exactly the same angle, at exactly the same speed, matching every surge and shift of the cavalry beneath them. Golden harnesses catch the morning sun as they dive, glinting bright against the blue. No eagle moves early, no eagle lags behind. Every shift, every adjustment, falls into perfect synchronization with the charge below. This is the Maegu-yeo's greatest secret, a fighting style no other nation on the continent could match. They did not only rule the ground, they held dominion over the sky. As the eagles dive toward their unseen target, they bring a new layer of mythic power to the advance, a combined attack no enemy could anticipate, no defense could stop. The Maegu-yeo did not just march to war. They came from every direction, closing the trap before their enemy even realized the battle had begun. The thunder of hooves and the rush of the attack fade behind the camera. The dust settles, pulling back to reveal what lies behind the frontline charge. The steppe stretches empty for a moment, then the first low shapes emerge from the haze. They are oxen, broad and heavy, their hooves sinking an inch into the soft grass with every step. Low grunts huff from their flared nostrils. Ropes creak against their shoulders, pulling tight against a weight no one can yet see. The first dozen pass, then a dozen more, then dozens more, hundreds. All aligned in straight, even rows, pulling as one. The haze lifts, and the full structure comes into view, a massive wooden platform hewn from ancient trees, bound together with iron and rawhide. It stretches across the steppe as wide as an entire city block. There is no gap between the beams, no loose board. Every joint holds, even as the whole structure creaks and shifts slowly forward across the grass. At the center of the platform sits the royal palace. A silk tent rises from the wooden floor, its roof capped with a gleaming sheet of beaten gold that catches the sun and sends bright light bouncing across the plain. Thin gray smoke curls up from a cooking fire inside the tent, curling into the blue sky even as the whole capital moves steadily forward. This is no temporary camp. It is the heart of the nation, moving with the people. The slow creak of the moving platform fades into the distance. The sun dips below the endless horizon, and deep blue darkness spills over the steppe. Cool night air rises from the dewy grass, carrying the faint smell of wood smoke and clover. Thousands of small campfires flicker to life across the plain, their tiny golden dots spreading all the way to the edge of the dark sky. Overhead, the Milky Way stretches clear and bright, a river of light spilled across the darkness. The campfires below glow in perfect match to the stars above. In the center of the largest camp, a giant carved wooden drum hangs between two wooden posts. The drummer lifts his arms high, brings them down hard against the stretched drumhead. A low resonant thrum bursts out. Visible ripples of sound roll out across the grass, bending the thin dewy blades away from the center. He strikes again, and again. The beat is steady, powerful, rhythmic, sinking into the ground and into the air. It holds the whole night together. Then, the strike's slow. The beat fades, softening into a low hum that drifts away across the plain. Only the campfires remain, glowing quiet under the endless stars. This is the truth of the Maegu-yeo. Beneath the thunder of cavalry and the grandeur of their moving capital, there is a deep, quiet spirituality tied to the sky and the grass. And it leaves the door open, waiting for the next chapter of this ancient story.